we're going to show you how to make this mask that has the two exhalation valves here, and is also lined on the inside, so there is some kind of filtration before the exhalation valve. This mask is made of 3 layers. The outer layer, there is an inner filter right here, and there is the lining, which is also cotton here, and this is where the valves are sitting. Okay, there are 2 strings attached. Both of them are adjustable. They have the ring and slide here. This is elastic, and this is just a simple satin ribbon, just to minimize the use of the elastic. Okay, let's get to it. So this is our cutout, and that is our pattern. We've already cut out both the outer fabric, which is 100% cotton, and this is the inner lining, and it is a filtration. We used the Pelon 950F fusible interfacing. It is actually nice. It provides nice filtrations for the mask from pollutant and germs. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to fuse this together, so we iron it. I am using this as already fused, and I'm going to show you how we first have to trace the holes for the 2 exhalation valves. If you choose to only put 1 exhalation valve, that's also an option that you can choose. You don't have to do 2 of them, just cut out 1. So we're going to trace it first. And the pattern, we will make the pattern available for you to download off of our website. You can, once you get the pattern and print it out, you can cut out these circles to make it easy for you to trace them. So now I have traced it, and I will cut it out now. So the easiest way to cut it out is to fold it in half and just make a slit first, and then cut out around the circle. So that's 1 cut out, and cut out the second one. Again, make a slit first, and then cut out. When you're using 2 exhalation valves, since this is on the face, it's important that they are symmetrical, otherwise it will really annoy people looking at you. So there you go, they are perfectly symmetrical. Now we're going to stitch. For this pattern, the only place you're going to stitch is here and here. Now this has been stitched already, and if you notice, I did some cutout here. It makes it easier when you flip. That reduces the bulkiness, because that would be where your nose and your mouth will be, so you don't want any bulkiness over there. The first thing we're going to do is place the strings for the neck and the head. So the longer string goes on top. These are my ribbons here, my satin ribbon, and I have already marked the placement for it, and I'm going to pin it, and then continue, make sure it's not going to flip, and this is the top right here, marking for it, and pin this one. Now take the smaller string and do the same things for the bottom. So the bottom of the mask is where the stitch comes together. The seam is the two sides come together, and I'm going to pin it right here. And pin the other side as well, right here. Okay, and now the lining. So the lining I already cut out. It's a 3-piece lining. This is for the left and the right. Oops, this way actually. And that is the center piece. I will show you a trick later on how to make these. These have already been stitched up and finished on the edges. All edges are finished. So first we're going to start with the center lining. Flip it over and match it with the center here. Oops. This is the most involved step in making this mask. So I'm going to pin and go back to the other side, open up the seam and pin this. Okay. It's easier for me now to flip it. And notice all the strings are inside or in between the two layers. Now I will take one side. They are overlapping by about ½ an inch and position it where everything should come aligned together. Okay. And I will pin here. And again on this side. And also give it a pin here. Oops. And do the other side. And this side as well. So this is now ready to be stitched all around. Okay. So this one here is all stitched up and it's ready to be flipped inside out. So this is where we're going to flip it. Okay. All right, so this is now needs to be top stitched here to hold things in place and for neatness as well. Okay. This one here has been top stitched already, and you will notice I also did a stitch right here. That is for the placement of the aluminum nose clip that we will install later at the same time. So it's ready for us to put in the two exhalation valves as well as the nose clip right here. Okay. So to put the valves, we're going to bring the valves over here. This is the 3 pieces for each of the valves. I'm going to start with the base right here and insert it from the inside and position it here and move the fabric around it to hold it in place. You might have to stretch the fabric just a little bit, and if the fabric is too tough and it doesn't want to stretch, I recommend just making tiny slits, like 2 or 3 around the circle. They have to be really tiny, like less than 1/16 of an inch, because you don't want it to go over too much the fabric. Just to give it a little bit of a leeway. Okay. Okay, so this one is in. So once this piece is in, I'm going to take this disc here and install it. And then the final step is the cover. So the cover, you may want to position it a little bit away. You don't want it to be facing this way so the air doesn't come out to meet the other. So I put it the other side, the other direction like this. And all you do is just push the two together. Sometimes it's good to hear a click to make sure they are all together. So keep pressing around to make sure they are all in. Okay? So that's one in. And I'm going to put the second one in. Now the 2 exhalation valves are in, and if you notice they are symmetrically positioned in the direction as well. The last step to do is to put in the aluminum nose clip. So this is the aluminum nose clip. I'm going to insert it right here in between the finishing top stitching and the seam that I added that is 1/4 inch away, and just put it all the way in, and it's done. And this is ready to be worn. I just wanted to share with you a tip for making the lining. It's easier way to do the 3-piece lining. For the sides, I simply cut out a long strip that is 2 1/4 inch wide, and I finish the edges first on one side. You don't have to do both sides. So long strip of fabric that is all finished, and you'll end up with something like this. And then I take 2 of them and I will place it right here. I don't need this seam allowance because I already finished it, so I will put it on top and I will cut along the side only, and then I will have the 2 sides for the lining. For the center lining, I also take a long strip that is 6 inches wide, and I finish the edges. I turn them very small turn, and I stitch along each side, and I will show you. I have one that's been done. So this one is ready with 2 sides turned. Then I flip it into the center. I fold it in the center, and this is here my fold line. I put it on, and again I don't need to cut this, so I will cut along this line and this line, and again this line and this line, and then I will have my finished center lining piece. Okay, thank you.